Oh, sorry about that. I was just watching a video on YouTube about trying to learn to whistle loudly. They sure make it sound easy. The things you can learn to do on YouTube is quite amazing. There's a video on juggling, doing magic, even plumbing. The most interesting one I saw was how to cut a man's hair. I mean, are you really going to trust someone that watched a video on YouTube to cut your hair? Makes me wonder why you even have to go through training or go to a school to learn to cut hair. And when it comes to RVs, you can find pretty much any repair on YouTube. We all want to be do-it-yourselfers, whether it's for the thrill of accomplishing something new or just saving a few bucks. But should we? Does the video give you enough knowledge and foundational information? In this episode, we're going to discuss the pros and cons of DIY RV repairs. Welcome to Confessions of an RV Technician. Learn from problems seen in the field. My name is Chris Ratcliffe, and I'll be your host. I am an RV TAA certified RV technician and an NRVIA certified RV inspector for rFactor RV Services. This podcast is about real-life problems that I've experienced or helped other RVers resolve. This is educational information tied to an actual story or confession that will help you learn ways to improve your RV experience and possibly resolve small problems before they become big problems. Welcome back to today's episode. Today we are talking about not hiring a certified RV technician and just doing the job yourself. After all, how hard can it be? Let's get started with this week's confession. A few years ago, we were in Maine at an RV park. We were enjoying Acadia National Park, Baugh Harbor, some lobster, and lots of wild blueberries. If you haven't had wild blueberries, they are nothing like the meaty ones you typically get. These are amazing, and they have a very short season. If you like blueberries, don't pass up the opportunity to get some fresh wild blueberries. More on that on my foodie podcast. Oh, just kidding, I don't have enough content for that. So I was talking to a fellow RVer, and he was having trouble with his water heater. This was a typical RV tank water heater, not a on-demand system. He couldn't get it working. And like many people, he was a DIYer. That's do-it-yourself for the few people that aren't familiar with that term. Many RVers are DIYers. If you're handy and understand electrical and plumbing, you can fix a lot of things on your RV, not to mention save yourself lots of money. So he tells me that he's tried everything and can't get his water heater working. He said he replaced almost all the parts: the igniter, thermostat, the circuit board, and so on. He said he had a good 12-volt DC coming in, but it still doesn't work. Now, if you're listening trying to troubleshoot this problem, please don't bother. This episode is less about the actual real problem and more about the person's experience of trying to fix it. So I listened to him for a while, mostly to try to determine if there's something I could tell him that would lead him in the right direction. But I didn't initially have any new information to share. Adding to his frustration was all the money he spent on parts that apparently did not help. Now, my troubleshooting brain was fully engaged. I was mentally going through the symptoms, but nothing jumped out at me that wasn't something he already did. I wanted to help him. I wanted to figure out this intriguing problem, but I didn't want to have him fork over a bunch of money and still not have hot water. So I offered him a deal. I'll troubleshoot and try to repair your water heater, and I won't charge you anything unless I fix it. This is definitely not something I can always afford to do. But he was just a few RVs away, so it was easy to walk over to his RV and to spend some time trying to resolve his problem. Our deal also included me working on my spare time. Now, he thought this was a good idea. Now, I could tell that he wasn't beaming with confidence that I could fix it. I mean, partially because he thought he's gone through everything. He was certain that he has, replaced everything and it still doesn't work. Truth be told, I wasn't sure either, which is one of the reasons I offered the deal. So the next evening, I began working on his water heater. Given all the information he shared, I decided to ignore what he's done and start from the beginning. If you listen to my podcast on how to help your RV technician fix your RV faster, you'll know that this is not my normal process. I typically take in all the information the client shares and then decide how to approach the problem. Be sure to check out that episode. It's one of my favorites. Oh, wait, they are all my favorites. So after some routine troubleshooting, my analysis included a bad control board. This conclusion made me pause, because it was a new board. So did he get a bad board? Did he mishandle the board and damage it during installation? If I install a new board, am I going to damage it by some other problem? Or was it not the board at all? After some deliberation, I decided to put in another new board that I had in stock. And you guessed it. Well, maybe you guessed it. The new board fixed the problem, and the water heater worked. Needless to say, the client was very happy to get his water heater working. Here's some questions to ponder. Would he have saved money if he did not try to fix it himself? Was there something he did that damaged the board? Some electronics are subject to static electricity. Did he handle the board correctly? Did he reinstall it correctly? If you're curious about static electricity on electronic circuitry, be sure to find a YouTube video about it. And that's just a little bit of fun sarcasm. Let's talk about how this repair could have gone differently. When you hire a reputable RV technician and the part doesn't work, you don't pay for it. Of course, he can send the other board back for warranty, but consider all the stress that he had to go through and the time he spent trying to solve this problem, not to mention the extra expense of buying parts he didn't even need. It took me less than 2 hours to get him up and running, all stress-free from his campsite. I'm not saying you should not do repairs yourself, but before you tackle a job, consider a few things. Do you have the tools you need? Do you have the correct replacement parts? Do you understand all the supporting sources that interact with the failed item? Things like voltage, propane, control switches. And how much time passes while you're trying to complete the job? Do you really have a complete understanding of the problem and what it takes to repair? Then there's access. Access is almost always the toughest part of any repair and is often the most time-consuming part of the job. It may require other parts like sealant to get it all back the way it's supposed to be. In the example from our confession, access was not an issue, but this was one example of a very straightforward repair. Another thing is voltage. In this example, we were dealing with 12 volts DC, so it's not going to hurt you. But take a positive 12 volt DC bare wire and accidentally touch it to ground, which would be pretty much any metal on the RV, now you'll get a small spark, and it might blow a fuse, sometimes cause damage to something else. If your problem deals with 120 volt AC, that has the potential to cause harm to you and may even start a fire. So please make sure you understand voltage and are comfortable working with it before you take on any DIY job. Summing this all up, DIY repairs on RVs can often lead to unexpected complications. The intricate systems of RVs like electrical, plumbing, slide-outs, HVAC systems require specialized tools and expertise. Mistakes can lead to costly repairs or even safety hazards. I talk to RVers all the time that are doing their own repairs without any problems. Hey, if you're comfortable and confident in doing the repair, I say go for it. But if you're not, then be sure to hire a certified RV technician that has been trained to handle these systems correctly, ensuring your RV system stays functional and you stay safe on the road. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you found it helpful, enlightening, with a drizzle of entertainment. The next time you need help with your RV, be sure to see where R-Factor RV Services is located, because we'd love to make a new friend and help you out. If we are not in your area, then go to rvhelp.com to find trusted, vetted RV technicians and inspectors near you. Maybe I need to watch that video again. This is not as easy as it looks. You've been listening to Confessions of an RV Technician. Learn from problems seen in the field. Until next time, safe travels and explore with confidence. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you know when the next confession is released.